I'm Johnny Price in Greenville, South Carolina, and this is another of our Talking Head film analyses, where we are not so much concerned with how good a movie might be, as we are with the ideas that are presented within the movie. Well, there's an interesting background story to the animated feature, The Secret World of ARRIETTY. First of all, it is based upon the classic children's book, The Borrowers, written by Mary Norton, published in 1952, and the first of 5 children's novels concerning tiny people who live in big people's homes and borrow the things that they need for survival, while all the time keeping their existence unknown. Well, this version of the story was first produced and distributed in Japan in 2010 by Studio Ghibli, which in Japan is pretty much the equivalent of Pixar here in the United States. For many, many years, the mastermind of Studio Ghibli has been one of Japan's greatest animation directors, Miyazaki, among whose works include Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle. For only the 3rd time, Miyazaki did not direct a Ghibli film. Instead, for ARRIETTY, he had one of his apprentices, Yonebayashi, direct. Also, over the years, a gentleman by the name of Joe Kisashi has become iconic at Ghibli, as he has written most, if not all, of the scores for their productions. However, the score for ARRIETTY was written by a French composer, Cécile Corbel. All of that to say that if you are a Studio Ghibli purist, you may go to this film and have some expectations that will not be completely satisfied. Well, the film was picked up by Disney and finally released in its American dubbed version with the voices of Will Arnett, Bridget Mendler, Carol Burnett, and Amy Poehler. Now, having said all of that, I have to tell you that The Secret World of ARRIETTY is a film that I strongly recommend. I loved the animation, not only because it's really well done, but also because it's a style I'm not used to. And it's very appealing. The story, of course, is a children's story. And it takes that audience very seriously, touching on, but never dwelling on, real life issues that most children are going to have to face at some time or another. A child's loneliness, the possibility of the death of a childhood friend, abusive social hierarchy, the threat of displacement, as well as the need for excitement and exploration and adventure and the discovery of new places and things. So, don't even start thinking that this film is a downer, because it definitely is not. It is fun, It's entertaining and it's insightful with just the right mix of reality and fantasy. One aspect of the film that I think deserves major kudos is its portrayal of a strong, loving, healthy family. ARRIETTY and her parents. They are, without exception, supportive, understanding, forgiving, and respectful to each other. And the role model that the father provides for the audience is spot on. There's one scene in particular that I would want you to look for. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, except that it reminded me of a description I once heard of how a dad, or any parent, ought to position himself to help his child stretch and grow in ability and self-confidence. Say a parent and child are climbing a steep, rocky hill. The parent takes the lead, staying close enough for the child to not lose sight of him and thus maintain assurance of the parent's presence. The parent stays close enough to look back and see how the child is doing and offer instruction, if need be, for the climb. The parent stays close enough so the child can watch the parent and see how the climb ought to be made. The parent stays close enough to instruct, encourage, and model, but far enough away so that the child doesn't expect to be carried. And then, at the end of the climb, mission accomplished, the parent and child share in their mutual victory and strengthened the bond between them. I'm Johnny Price, and this has been another of our Talking Head film analyses.